This is the Real Estate Marketing Podcast, where we teach you how to grow your real estate business. Whether you're a wholesaler, investor, or realtor, this podcast is for you.
Welcome to the Real Estate Marketing Podcast. I'm Adam Grimm.
And I'm Austin Glanzer.
And today we're going to talk about the 5 mistakes we see most commonly on real estate websites. So to help us with that, we brought in Justin Ruhl, owner of Sparrow Websites and my former business partner.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks, Justin. So if we go really broad, looking at real estate websites, can you tell me a little bit about your background and just your experience in the space of working with real estate agents and other real estate type companies?
Sure thing. I mean, first of all, I've bought and sold 3 houses in my venture as a father and homeowner. So I think I came at it with a little chip on my shoulder from those experiences. But then having the ability over the last, been in web design for the last almost 15 years, I guess, if I'm counting. And when we started Sparrow Websites 4 years ago, I realized that there's a lot of things missing. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of clutter, like in the real estate website space. And I wanted to be part of cleaning that up, clarifying it, and simplifying it for real estate professionals.
And was there a defining moment where you saw that real estate is just a great space, or was there a time when you started really focusing in on real estate, or was that from the beginning?
A few years ago, when some of the listing services changed their platforms, namely from like a Fountain to a Bright system, and affected a lot of real estate professional websites, they went down, quite honestly. People lost their listings. They lost everything because these templates weren't feeding in the data for their listings. And we got a tap on the shoulder at Sparrow on helping some people out fix that for their brand. And when we did that and saw the results for their brand, the agents from the agency started reaching out and saying, could you please fix my website too? So yeah, we've been doing that for a few years and just watching data, watching numbers, listening to buyers and sellers, and fixing websites accordingly.
Nice. I know from working with you pretty closely, I've got some insider knowledge. I know you've built hundreds of websites and at least dozens of real estate specific brands, everything from brokerages to agents to investors. So I'm curious, in all those websites you've built, are there recurring patterns or things you see that are missing or mistakes you see being made when people have a real estate business and are launching their first website?
Yeah, I tried to break it down to 5 things I'm consistently seeing missing, or that I'm fixing, or that we're advising people. I'll start with number 1 because for me, both the home selling and the buying process, this is what I wanted to see. And it turns out the data supports this is what the average buyer or seller wants to know before they reach out to a real estate professional, even someone that's been recommended to them, is what is the process going to be after I click this submit button or sign up for your newsletter button, or get automatic listings sent to my inbox right away? What is actually going to happen? There's no process page on these agents' websites, on agency websites. What I want to know is when I fill out that form at 10 o'clock after I've put the kids to bed and I'm finally getting on and looking for the house I'm trying to move to, are you going to text me back right then? Are you going to call me back right then? Are you going to email me? Because trust me, when I'm laying in bed at 10:30, because see, it's a half hour later. Did you notice that? It was 10, now it's 10:30. Never mind. Anyway, I'm searching. I don't want you to call me back right then. I need something on your site that tells me what's going to happen. Are you going to take me out to lunch? And all of that helps me determine whether or not you're a good fit for me to be my agent. Does that make sense?
That does. Are you seeing people in the real estate space use any kind of automation? What should that experience look like? So if I'm on a site and let's just say I'm looking at different listings and I say I'm interested in one, what do you recommend a good next step is? Should I just be personally responding to those? Should I have an autoresponder? Where do you usually take it?
I think it a little bit depends on you as an agent. There's not necessarily a wrong answer other than no answer. A dead dial tone on the other end of the phone means you're not there. So if you want to set up something that's automated, that can take on like linking up with a free service like MailChimp, that's going to, as soon as I submit that form, it's going to send the automation, the campaign, the drip campaign, I guess, as we technically would call it, back saying, hey, Justin, I got your lead. Hey, I'm sleeping right now, but I'll call you back in the morning first thing. That can be an automated process, like an email back, or it can be as simple as a lot of agents aren't just filling out that auto response form field on their website that says, hey, after submit, it just says, thanks for submitting successfully. That is so boring. Like, customize that baby. Say, hey, man, I'm watching the Eagles right now, but as soon as they score, which is never, I'll get you. Like, infuse yourself in that. Or redirect me to a page on your website that tells me your process, please. Or has a video of you saying, hey, this is me, just got your thing. Not really. Like, you have to own the automation or the personalization of what you do, whether it's a redirect, whether it's a landing page, or whether it's a custom message that you send them back.
Gotcha. And Austin, you have more experience in the wholesaling space specifically. How are you handling that, like the follow-up process after someone submits a form?
Yeah, I mean, as far as what we do when it comes to following up when we get like a wholesale lead, we try to actually call them back no matter what time it is. So even if it is late, I'm calling. I mean, I've made a couple calls at like actually 10 o'clock or so, just because these people are highly motivated to sell their house. And actually, one person on Tuesday this week, which was I guess yesterday of the time of this recording. I got a lead and I called him back in like 3 minutes. And the guy was like, wow, that was so fast. And then I got him under contract that day. So, I think just speed when it comes to your process is, important when it comes to wholesaling, because those people are very motivated to sell.
And if you're going to do that, I guess just tell people, like, indicate that, which I'm sure you do on your site. Like, hey, we'll get right back to you instantly. Then I know. Or have the form field say like, hey, is it cool to call and text you anytime? Or would you prefer to do it during normal people's waking hours? Like, right? I mean,
that's cool. Let them drive the process.
Yeah. Like,
and actually expounding on that, we do on the form that they fill out, we ask them what time we should call on that form. So we do that. And if they put any time, there's an option. It's like morning, evening, or any time. I'll call them, even no matter what time it is, whenever I see it. So that is exactly actually a good call. I think people should do.
So you're solving that problem, because the process to expect, is, I just need to know that. Just otherwise, I'm hesitant to fill out anything.
No, that makes sense. So it does. What your process is going to fit your brand. If you're the really quick responder, or you're going to do a deep dive and let them know you want to do some research and get back, whatever. But give them some heads up and let them know.
Yeah, and if you're going to take me out for coffee in sometime this week that fits my schedule, that's a totally different type of connection with a potential client.
Sure.
And I actually like what you just said there, Adam, especially about the process of we get a lead, and if you had in there, Justin said, thanks for submitting the form. Well, I think actually, if you are going to do research on that property, which most people do, if you get a lead, whether it's someone who wants to list retail or they want to sell quickly, let them know you're going to do research for an hour or so, and then give them a call back with like educated numbers. Because that's actually a great idea. Even for me, I should do that for my website.
Cool. That was a great one, Justin. A lot of conversation there. So tell me about the next one here. If you're 5 mistakes.
So the second thing is, so many real estate agents think that the average consumer is concerned about their license or their, what do they call it? The designation, or their, SRES, senior real estate, licensed someone and so, and how long you've been in the industry and all of that. At the end of the day, I do care that you've, been around a little bit. You just didn't graduate from, your licensure yesterday, and I'm the first person to find you. I don't want to know that. But a second missing thing is, beyond your resume, tell me something about you as a person. Because even if my friend said to work with you, if I go on your website and you're like, I don't know, iron shirt, press pants person, and I'm a t-shirt and jeans every day, even to church dude, we might not resonate that well together. Or if I'm from Columbus and you're from Michigan, I don't know, man. My allegiance to the Buckeyes may mean you don't get my lead. So tell me something beyond the resume. Why are you in your business? What wakes you up in the middle of the night? What's your favorite meal? And I think that stuff is valuable. It helps personalize and kind of take the mask, no COVID pun intended there, off your brand and connect with your people.
That makes sense. And you mentioned agents, but I feel like that is so much more important, even as important, at least for wholesalers. I mean, if you land on, bobbuysHouses.com or whatever, and it just feels like, you're going to try to take all my money.
Yeah.
I'm not very likely to work with you, but I've seen Austin's wholesaler websites, and there's a whole lot about integrity and the number they're going to give you and how easy it is to work with him. And there's pictures of you, Austin, and the people you're working with on your team. Like, there's a ton of personality there. And I've seen some other cash for houses, wholesaling websites that just look really not very trustworthy. So that's a great one that gets forgotten a lot, I think.
Well, and I'll even attest to that too. We actually got a deal a couple months ago where the lady actually went with us because she clicked our about page and saw that me and my business partner Josh were young. We said we were Christians, and she just thought that was cool that we were young, starting our own business. So she went with us as opposed to our competitor, just because we had information about ourselves on the site. So it totally works.
What else do you have for us? What's the mistakes you're seeing out there?
So again, 1, tell me the process. 2, tell me something beyond your resume. But number 3, equally important, is as you're serving people and helping them, you've got to have a simple feedback loop built into your website. So many people, that love you, they want to leave that love online, and you need it online. So there's a really simple thing you can do on your website. Again, whether you're a wholesaler, whether an agency or an agent, give people a pretty obvious way to leave feedback for you. And yes, that means they're going to click on a button, and you can link that right to your Google review profile or your realtor.com or Zillow.com, wherever you're gathering your reviews, whatever your strategy is. Let me leave that feedback right there. Don't make me search your name, find that little gray review button that I'm not going to be able to find. Make it easy for me to leave feedback, please. And the catch and the little secret sauce I'll just give away is, hey, on that feedback page, if I wasn't happy, ask me right there. Hey, look, I know I make mistakes. You put a little form with a little header. I know I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. It'd be great if I was, but my wife can attest I'm not. Again, just be real, be personal. How could I have done better? Let me know. And boom, we see people. I mean, we monitored, I'll say probably tens of thousands of reviews over the last few years. That's probably accurate. And we see time and time again, people avoid the kind of 1-star venting review because they asked for feedback and kind of gave them permission to vent to them directly. So give me a little feedback loop on your website.
Gotcha. And are you literally asking people to go leave feedback in that section, or how do you recommend people find that page to leave your review?
Do. I mean, what you find out is, even when you or I go and eat the greatest restaurant and we mean and have good intentions to leave a review, if you don't ask me or follow up or, ping me back or shoot me an email or whatever, text me, and kind of give me a link to that page on your website to do it, then I probably won't follow through. So really simple practices, maybe on your contracts, is a good practice we see is print a little business card that says, hey, I love honest feedback. On the back of the card, it has a link to your feedback page. Give me that when you hand me my, box of contract papers, or when you follow up with me after you help me buy the property or close the sale, just send me an email. Hey, man, that was awesome. Hope you moved in well or whatever. And by the way, just leave me some honest feedback. And again, you're not giving them a link directly to your platform. You're giving them a link to the feedback page on your website, so that if I'm really upset, I'm going to have that little filter in there. Make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. That's a solid list right there. So if you've got a solid, call to action with a good alert to what to expect as far as the process, you've got the feedback loop in place, you've got a nice personality in place. Yeah, it sounds like you're on the way to a solid website.
I had a quick question for you about that. Wasn't there a program at one point where, you could send them out, maybe it was called Get 5 stars, where, if someone had a bad review, they would actually email you it personally instead of putting it online. And then if they had a good review, it would put it online or something.
Yeah, there's some systems out there that do that. Whether Google loves or hates those or will blacklist you or not, if they find that on your, system is kind of debatable. Generally, what I say though is, if you're going to make me click 1 through 10 stars, and 7 to 10 go to my review profile, and 7 or below go to the form. That's okay, but I kind of feel like, look, if you're only going to ask 5 people for a review in a year, then yeah, worry about whether or not someone's going to be upset. But if you're going to, serve people well and do good business and keep it a consistent practice, don't be afraid of a 1-star getting out there. In fact, research even shows, and Adam, the nerd man, can even attest to this, that having a 1-star review in your profile mix with just a common sense response or apology or whatever the right response is for that actually increases trust in your brand, because people think, what's the worst that's going to happen? They click on that 1-star and they say, you never sent me my papers or whatever. And then they see your response, oh my goodness, so sorry, they're in the mail now or tomorrow, or whatever the response would be. Then people actually trust you even more. They're like, oh good, he didn't flip out and vent back at him. This is a legit guy. Everyone makes mistakes.
Gotcha. Because I didn't even know if that was still a thing, but maybe I guess it kind of hurts you in your rankings if they find out you use something like that. But no, that makes a lot of sense. That's good.
Yeah. The other 2 quick things I would just say, just because we see a lot of people new to real estate, or people that have been in it a while, I'll set this out there gently as my tip number 4. The 4th mistake is people are paying a lot of money for these IDEX feeds to be integrated to their website. I manage a ton of real estate agency and agent websites, and that's can be okay. What I would say to the person kind of young in the game, don't be intimidated by that. Don't fall for some big high price system that says they're going to fully integrate you with all the IDX listings and allow people to sort, save, and da 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 da. That's valuable, but let the data tell you that that's valuable. I think out of the gate, the mistake people make is they go all in, but they never really use all those systems, because it's kind of like, they swallow the whole elephant. They're trying to figure out how to digest it, man. Just start with a piece of the trunk and just get a great website that tells me the process, the services you offer, connects with me as a person, and gives me the ability to, see and give feedback, see other people's feedback. Just start there. And if you want to highlight a few of the properties you're doing directly on your site, my personal suggestion, don't jump down the IDX integration train until the data says, all right, people are on your website looking for this stuff.
Gotcha. And you threw out a term that I didn't know for a long time. Can you tell me a little more about what is IDX and even when to use it, and just a little more details on when it's really not necessary?
Yeah, the IDX feed is basically the data transfer of what would be in the MLS into a website. It kind of it's kind of the technical flow of that data from an MLS system into, or really gives it permission to display on a website. So if I'm looking at 3 Main Street in my city, it'll pull in all the MLS data, put it on the website itself, allow me to kind of save, search, request a showing on that property. There's some SEO value there, and putting specific properties on your website, so that if someone's looking at 1 Main Street, or they're saying, hey, houses under 500,000 in my neighborhood. But, I'm just going to say it. The data still shows that even the best and brightest website that you or I make, we can't keep up with the hundreds, and I don't even want to throw out a number, but whatever the investment is that the Zillow, the Realtor.coms, some of the other aggregate listing search sites are out there, HomeSnap, they're putting in way more money than you or I can ever put into getting that search and find feature beautiful. So, kind of let them search and find on there. And the reality is, people are going to find you, the real estate agent, the wholesaler, they're going to find you by dropping your name on Google because they heard about you, or you did good work in their neighborhood, or you helped a friend. The research shows that people are still, it's in real estate, word of mouth is still king. And where are they doing that? They're doing that then on Google. So don't be afraid of other sites being the avenue and the platform people search on. They're going to go to Google to find your name, find your business, and then find your great site.
Gotcha. No, that is helpful. Thanks for unpacking that. So, all right. So tip number 4, or number 5, excuse me. What is our final tip of the day here?
So final tip is actually, it's a slight thing not on your website, but it leads to your website. And that is, this is kind of for all the marbles, man. you're a real estate agent, you've got to go and set up a Google My Business profile listing for you. It's a special type of listing that you need to set up under your agency called a practitioner listing. But what that means is when I search for you by name, I'm going to hopefully organically on the left, see your website listed there. But certainly on the right-hand side, I'm going to find a review profile that shows your beautiful face and has reviews right there about the amazing experience people had working with you. And right there's a button to click to your website. It's got your phone number. I mean, that Google My Business thing, most people are surprised to know you can actually set that up for your team or for you as an agent that will show you, not just rely on your agency showing up there, but actually you by name can show up there. So number 5, claim a Google My Business listing for yourself.
Nice. And I would broaden that. I mean, again, agents, but if you have a wholesaling business, if you're an investor, anytime you're trying to be listed locally. So if you want people to search for, where can I sell houses locally or any of that kind of stuff, that's a great one. Grab your Google My Business profile. It's free. It takes what, Justin, like 5 minutes to set up.
Yep. And then you get a card in the mail, verify the code, and you're off to the races.
Cool.
I can actually attest to this too, because we have a website called 717 Home Buyers, and we built a Google My Business page, and then we put that you could schedule an appointment right into Google My Business, and we've actually gotten 2 leads from that directly. So people go on, they can see our Google My Business listing right on the right-hand side. I'm looking at it right now, and then there's a little check, and it says online appointments. And we've had people click that. So I suggest setting it up that way too. Just, if you have a wholesaling business or a personal real estate business that you can do appointments.
Yep. And you'd be surprised. Some agencies don't even have that set up for themselves, let alone their agents. That's a big, big mess. Simple, free, easy, do it over a cup of coffee and get it done.
Super helpful. Any parting words of advice?
My last thing I would just say is fear not the blog, man. Like whatever side of the real estate, stream you're trying to jump in, realize this: people have questions and you have answers. So whatever your digital platform is you're using, if you got a website, man, activate the blog. Just answer the question you got asked 3 times that week, and don't sweat it. Most of us can write a few sentences. Yeah, the SEO experts will tell you how many words to put in there. Just start doing it consistently. Have your cup of coffee with your blog every week, man, and write a few answers to the common questions. Post them as little posts. Or, Austin, I see you do this all the time. Just pop out your iPhone, record an answer to a common question you're getting on your iPhone with your app. Just upload it to your YouTube channel. There's the link right there. You've just made your blog. Just put a little title on it and put it on your site. I mean, again, sometimes I think we get scared of big words or things like that, when just don't sweat it. Just answer common questions. And that's called a blog, help people get answers to why they're on your site. And if you can be a trusted, relatable resource, well, then you probably just got some good business.
Yeah, I used to actually get really embarrassed about recording something right on my iPhone, because I always felt like, other people on YouTube have way better cameras, they have studios and whatnot. But I kind of just got over that and started just putting up some content. And that's actually grown our business just from me making short videos on my iPhone. So I would highly suggest. That was some good advice right there.
That's awesome, Justin. No, I appreciate that. So again, anybody in the real estate investment space, wholesaling space, these are huge. Make sure you have a process page. You're setting the right expectations. Get a feedback loop on there. Make sure that there's like a personality and your whole reason of why someone should work with you. Get a Google My Business listing and get a blog. That's some heavy stuff there. Thanks, Justin. Someone wants to get a hold of you if they've got questions or want to talk more about real estate websites. What's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, just Google Sparrow websites. If we did our Google sauce right, you'll find us, sparrowwebsites.com. And we can talk to you how we can help launch a site for your business if that's what you're in the mood for.
All right. Well, thanks again, Justin. I appreciate it. Thank you all for listening today. We will be back next week with another episode. Talk to you later.
Thank you for listening to the Real Estate Marketing Podcast. Please like and subscribe for more content like this. We'll see you later.